It's Friday night, September 23rd, back at it in FDS. South winds, not too terribly strong. We've had some pretty solid action over here the past couple of nights, so hoping we can sneak in here. South wind isn't perfect for this spot, but you can get away with it unless they get directly out from you into the field. So plan is just to shoot them before they get there. Time to get after it. Buck fever outdoors, baby. Here we go. Well, here we are, set up in the cornfield tonight. Last night I was about 70 yards to my south over here. I had Mr. Krabs work his way out from this direction over here and kind of got to right to this spot and then hung up. Actually had a raccoon jump out of the corn, which spooked the doe that he was with. So that means I'm 2 for 2 on a doe spooking him when he's been close to being killed. But back at it again tonight. If by chance he does the same thing, I'm going to be in good position because he'll have absolutely no idea that I'm here. I'm really tucked in here nice. Nothing's going to see me unless I really screw something up. So fingers crossed I don't really screw something up. Just hit one. Right when I was about to release, he started moving. And I think I might have hit him back. But he's hit, it should be a lethal shot, so I need to get out of here as soon as I can. I give these deer a little while to clear out. We'll get back in touch once we get on a blood trail. Alright, we are going to find my arrow. Pretty sure I had a clean pass through on nice buck. Nerves are kicking a little bit, so we're trying to get a little more information. Shot it, backed out right away. But here we go.
It's about 9:30 right now.
About 9:30.
About 2.5 hours after the shot.
Yep. So
we're at least gonna go check the arrow or see if we can find the arrow.
Yep. Here we go. Let's go.
I ain't gonna believe this, but I passed him last night. There you go. Oh, I didn't go far. Okay, he's dead. He did not go far. Or is it the same one? Yeah, I think it is. It's okay.
And
thank you. Nice job.
Oh yeah, buddy, nice job.
No, the key is. Where'd you hit him?
right there.
Perfect.
Pretty damn good shot.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Oh, it's okay. Sweet. Nice.
Nice buck.
Yep. And he really didn't go very far.
No, he didn't at all.
This is all I saw. Is this side of him. Shooting a text off to the Buck Fever Outdoors boys here, real quick. All right. Just got back to the taxidermist. You know, amateur hour has been in full effect here. You know, this morning was looking at the pictures that were taken and went, hey, those all look pretty good. Make a decision and take them to the taxidermist. You know, on the way to the taxidermist, Pat goes, hey, you know, we probably should have drug that thing out of the back of the truck, put your bow on it, and had you tell the story of what happened with this deer. I said, yeah, that probably would have been a good call. You know, too late now. So
we'll recap the story in a little bit together as we're driving to take the deer to the processor for the meat. But we're gonna go into the taxidermy shop here and check out the buck caped out, and yeah.
Yep.
All right, here we go.
Do you know how you want mount? So I'm thinking I probably want it turned to the right, so he's looking right.
Okay.
And then I don't think I want it like a full snoop or sneak or whatever it's called. I think maybe like, I don't think I want it all the way up either, so maybe like, I don't know.
So these are kind of so a full sneak, his head's down below his back. Semi-sneak, his eyes are about level with his back. Semi-upright, the bottom of his chin is level with his back.
Let's do that.
So that would be like, I don't know if I have one out here.
That'd be,
It'd be pretty close to that one, yeah. This is a semi-upright with a left turn.
left turn, yeah. So I'd go semi-upright with a
Right turn?
right turn.
Okay.
Yep. All right, time for the recap. I'll just start with this buck. I ended up last night sitting about 3.5 rows in to a cornfield on the ground. We had a west wind, so the wind was just blowing back into the corn, so I figured that that was going to be about perfect. On Friday night, I had been sitting in a stand that was 70 yards away.
Right on the field edge, overlooking this
Yeah.
field that you're now sitting in. So a lot of the crops out here are planted in strips. So, you know, strip of corn, strip of alfalfa, strip of soybeans. Deer are coming out to feed on that alfalfa and soybeans. And you were sitting on the field edge overlooking those fields.
Yep.
You had some solid action Friday night.
Yep. So made the decision to sit in the corn. Couldn't really sit in that stand with the west wind because it would have been blowing straight along the field edge back into the woods where deer come from.
Yeah.
So, but corn was a safe option. So I got out there, got myself set up. Actually, I started about 2.5 rows in, and as soon as I sat down in the chair, I went, oh, I think I need to get in here just a little bit further. So I ended up cutting 2 more corn stalks that were, 1 more row in, shifted the chair over, and if I wouldn't have done that, never would have ended up killing this deer. It started to rain lately, and more deer started filtering out. I have no idea how many were out there, because I had these doe that were right by me, and then it started to rain harder, which actually spooked those doe and had them run back towards the woods. Meanwhile, I'm not looking anywhere because I'm pinned down. You can faintly see that buck work his way back out into the beans. And when those doe spooked and ran, he took a couple of steps over, got in the shooting lane, got the binoculars up. Wasn't exactly sure what deer it was, but I saw that he was heavy, wide. I'm like, that's a shooter. Got the rangefinder on him, ranged him, and he was at 30.8 yards. So I adjust my bow, single pin to 30 yards, clip my release on, and get ready to draw back. And in the meantime, he spins around, bumps into a different deer, and probably takes 6 steps away from me. So I'm on 30 yards. I had to guess exactly where, how far he went, and I ended up just putting the pin right where I wanted it, moving it up to the top of his shoulder, and then he, from what I could see, was quartered away from me, and I moved it back about 4 inches, let her fly. Anyways, back out of there, end up going back to the truck, watching the footage, and there's the corn leaf there. Can't see exactly where I hit him, but I started to feel a lot better about the shot after watching that, because it didn't look to me like it was going to be guts. It looked to me like the furthest back it was going to be like a liver hit.
Sure.
We kind of hemmed and hawed. Needed to get a hold of a landowner for permission to access his property, and we started actually to drive back to my house so we could watch footage on the big screen. We got
10 minutes away, and we're just kind of having a conversation like, hey, maybe we should go back and try to find that arrow in the field, because you had thought you had gotten a pass through.
Yeah.
And we figured we'd be able to go out there quick, find the lighted knock, check out what the arrow or what the blood looked like on the arrow, and that would help further us make a decision on how many hours we should give this deer and whatnot. So we ended up turning around, going back, driving in, parking, walking out there.
Yep.
And
meantime, Doug called us back, who's the neighbor, and we ended up getting permission to go onto his property, and he actually offered to come up and help us find the arrow, find first blood. So he came up and joined us on that.
So meanwhile, no arrow. We can't find the arrow. No blood, really, until we start searching kind of the entry points back into the woods, and then we find a couple drops of blood, but we haven't not found the arrow, right? And we're kind of a couple drops here, a couple drops there, and kind of get to the property line and wait for the landowner to come up. But at this point we're thinking probably liver, and maybe let's back out of here. Let's see what the landowner thinks. But we were leaning towards we're going to be going home tonight and probably having a sleepless night and going after this thing in the morning.
Yep. So landowner gets up there, we start showing him kind of where we're at, and right where we stop, he goes, "Oh, there's your arrow."
2 feet away from where we stopped. or we found last blood.
Yep.
And the knock was off. The lighted knock was for whatever reason not on.
Yep. You can see it's on when I shot.
Yep.
I don't know if when it hit the deer, that was just enough to like loosen the battery connection or something, but it was off. And long story short, get on blood, and I mean, we weren't in the woods for 30 yards,
Yeah.
40 yards, and there it was.
So in reality, he might have went 70 yards, something like that.
Maybe.
Not very far, and he was in there dead, and the shot was really good.
Perfect.
It was good. It was actually in front of the liver, I think, and
Yep.
got some lung, and
Ended up hitting opposite shoulder.
yep, which is why the arrow didn't pass.
Yep. So pretty awesome. You know, really appreciative of the neighbor being willing to, one, allow us to come up and go onto his property. Two,
Hey, brought up his gator, helped us load it up and get it out of there. So
yep.
it's nice when you've got working neighbors like that are, you know, willing to help each other out and let you access a property to retrieve a deer. You hear too many bad stories with that, where guys don't let you cross the property line, and that's too bad because then deer go to waste. So
Yep. So
awesome hunt. I mean, talking about a super aggressive move, easily could have just went and sat in that tree stand, and where you figure that deer came out, he would have came out east of that tree stand.
Yeah.
And with that west wind, probably would have busted you with the wind, and maybe it never would have came to fruition in having a shot to shoot that deer. But being aggressive, saying, hey, I'm gonna go sit in the corn, cut myself 3 lanes, boy, it really paid off.
real happy that I made the decision to go after a target buck, and you know, my tag was punched on September 24th, so now I gotta sweet talk the wife into letting me go to Minnesota for the archery season. There it is.
First kill for us for Buck Fever Outdoors.
Buck Fever Outdoors
Nice.
on the board, and Papi is now off the board. So
Off the board. Yep.
it's time to start figuring out the next plan of attack.
Yep. I'll be back at it tonight, so hey,
Yep.
who knows?
We'll be checking back in tonight with a new story, hopefully.
Hopefully. All right. Thanks for watching.